If you're visiting Philly for the first time, this rectangular loaf of bread dressed in red tomato sauce might not be at the top of your food bucket list. But locals will tell you it's a must-try. This is tomato pie, and it's one of the city's oldest and most favored dishes.
It's a legend, it's a staple. Doesn't get any better than this.
We're in South Philly today, which is basically like the Italian neighborhood of Philadelphia, and we're heading to Sarcone's bakery to try tomato pie. I have never heard of it because I'm not from this area, so we want to know, why are Philadelphians so into tomato pie? Let's go find out. Tomato pie has been a beloved piece of Philly's culinary scene for decades. It starts with a thick bottom layer of bread dough molded into a rectangular shape. At Sarcone's, the pie is partially baked in a massive, decades-old brick oven until lightly crisped. Current owner Lou and his father Luigi use a 15-foot peel to pull it out before spreading on heavy helpings of the family's original tomato sauce, what they call gravy at the shop. Once the gravy is spread evenly, the pie heads back into the oven for several minutes more, ensuring the crust cooks all the way through and turns a golden brown. It becomes firm on the bottom with a soft, fluffy texture on top that absorbs each bite of savory gravy.
I've been eating it since I was a little kid. By far, it's my favorite tomato pie. It's got good gravy on basically a loaf of bread.
Lou sprinkles a handful of Parmesan cheese, but the pie is otherwise void of dairy. From just one look, this red sea of sauce is the most notable feature of the dish, and what makes it distinctly not pizza.
Whenever I tell people about it, they're always confused and they just go, is that pizza? And it's not pizza, it's totally different. So I think it is something regional, special for here.
Thick square slices are set at the front of the store, where they're wrapped in wax paper and often served at room temperature. Some customers grab a slice on the go, while others pick up whole pies to bring back to the office.
I started eating it really young. I think it is special for here, you know what I mean? So when I have a chance to share that with other people that maybe aren't from around here, I think it's a really cool treat to bring them.
The same goes for Jimmy Rubino, who owns the oldest Italian restaurant in Philly right next door.
My grandmother made her own dough, and she made her own tomato pie. Fridays usually, because we didn't eat meat. Grew up on it, love it.
I'm eating this room temperature right now, and so it more or less reminds me of an appetizer, like focaccia with sauce on top. And so I can imagine eating this before a meal, before I had pasta for dinner, or picking this up and people were telling us this is a grab-and-go snack for them. Tomato pie is a century-old tradition started by Italian immigrants who settled in South Philly and began working at bakeries in the early 1900s. At the end of the day, they would turn any leftover bread into tomato pie.
What bakers used to do back then, whenever they had leftover dough, they would just, instead of having it go to waste, they would make pizza shells out of it. So it's a little bit different than a normal pizza because the dough is not a pizza dough, it's a bread dough.
It has much more of a bread-like texture. It's not pizza dough, as Lou was telling us, and so it's very airy and kind of light. So you're biting into it, and it's like biting into a cloud, rather than biting into dense crust of a pizza.
Brings me back to when I was a kid. It's an Italian tradition.